Hello, Math Pathway 2 families for the 21-22 school year. I just wanted to get you a message. It doesn't seem like my um, question and answer session worked. Many of you did not receive a link to that, so I just wanted to send out some information before we met for conferences. If you are wanting to meet for conferences later on this month. Anyhow, I'll start off. If after this you have any questions or concerns or something that I didn't bring up, please feel free to email me back, or you can also give me a phone call here at school. A little bit about myself. I have been teaching in the district for about 15 years, 19 total years of teaching. Before that, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I see kids from all over the building for math. My favorite subject is math, so I really enjoy teaching it. I have taught a pathway class off and on for the last 4 years. I have 3 kids, Caden, Kylie, and Arya. Caden is actually in 6th grade this year and doing CPM, which is what we'll talk a little bit about here in a moment. So I just have I'm very familiar with math CPM. Goals for this year. We are going to develop the ability to reason mathematically. We're also going to think about what we already know and connect this knowledge to new ideas. Our goal is to use a growth mindset when attacking a problem. Being 5th graders and going into some of the 6th and 7th grade problems that we will be encountering sometimes can cause kids to kind of have a negative mindset. So we'll be talking a lot about growth mindsets. And then just for students to gain a deeper understanding by listening to others and also having conversations on those topics and learning new ways to think about math by having those conversations. Some curriculum information. We use CPM math, and you've probably heard me say CPM a few times, but that stands for College Preparatory Mathematics. And you can find more information on their website, which is cpm.org. But in a nutshell, it is a team-based math class. Students work in study teams. The teacher works as a facilitator throughout the lessons, asking questions, solving problems with kids. Each member has a team role that will change daily. This promotes collaboration and communication. The curriculum CPM is cyclical in nature. So if a student gets introduced to something new, it will always circle back on it. And most of the time it circles back multiple times so that they have many opportunities to actually practice some of those types of problems. We use an online textbook, and so everything is accessible on the iPad, which is awesome. Here in a little bit, I'll show you how we can get to those places in the textbook that will be of use to you as a parent, as well as of use to the kids. As far as targets that we cover this year, we began the year kind of doing a little bit of a book scavenger hunt and getting to know our text. From there, we have begun the pretest for grade 5 targets. And I'm using this mostly to look for gaps that kids have in their learning so that I can fill in those gaps when we are going on to those grade 6 targets. And then we will also be hitting a few of the grade 7 targets. The 6th and 7th grade targets are covered using the CPM curriculum. And once we get logged in, I'll kind of point out how we know if it's a 6th grade target or a 7th grade target. But by the end of fifth grade, your child is going to be 1 year ahead in math. By the end of sixth grade, your child will be 2 years ahead of math. So basically, what that means is by high school, I believe they'll have to take 1 or 2 courses, and then they can move on to AP courses after that. Student responsibilities for learning while in class. And these come straight from the CPM curriculum. We want active participation in our whole class and our study team work and discussion. We want our students to complete or at least attempt all the assigned problems when we have homework or assignments in a timely manner. Checking and correcting problems on assignments. Usually this is going to happen in class with their study partner or study team. And based on answers and solutions that we provide in class and online, those conversations should hopefully lead to a deeper understanding. Asking for help when needed from their study partner or their study team and me. That's important because I want kids to have the ability to ask, but also the comfort level. So we've been, talking a lot about how we can go about asking questions. We want them to attempt to provide help when asked by other students. You'll see in CPM math that it's really important to listen to others and also help when it's needed, just because then they are able to see that, all problems aren't solved in one way. Taking notes is important, and using their toolkit when recommended by me. Also, the text is very important. I'm going to show you some key tools that we'll be using here this year. Notebooks need to stay well organized. We use our notebook every day. And every day we have a lesson. We title that lesson in our notebook. If there's homework that goes along with it, which I'll talk about in a moment, they will also be doing their homework in their notebook. And then just that, not distracting other students from the opportunity to learn. We want to give everybody an equal opportunity to understand and see how to solve these types of problems. As far as grading, we are a standards-based grading scale. Standard is represented with an ST, and that basically means that the student can demonstrate their learning of a target. Approaching standard means that student can mostly demonstrate their learning of a target. They might need a little bit of teacher guidance, but they can mostly do that. Maybe some misconceptions come through. And then minimal progress means that the student is making minimal progress towards understanding and demonstrating their learning of a target, and might need a great deal of teacher guidance. I post all my grades to Schoology, so you'll be able to keep track of how kids do on exit slips, or also some of our unit tests that we take. A general unit overview that we have, usually they have about 10 to 12 lessons, and again, mixed 6th and 7th grade targets. I try and give an exit slip at the end of a lesson so that kids can, show me that they understood, or I can use that to then kind of drive my lesson for the next day. So once we go through those lessons, there is a closure day, which is basically just a review day, where we'll do an activity or a group activity where we review those big targets that we covered in that unit. And then we test, and that depends on, the unit that we're doing, but sometimes there are individual tests and sometimes there's team tests. The team tests are a little more challenging just because there are 4 heads thinking about a problem instead of 1. But they all offer kind of the same information that we'll take away from that. As far as homework, I believe that homework should be purposeful. I don't really like to send homework home a ton just because I know that we all have lives outside of school. In Math CPM, it's called the Review Preview, and it's at the end of every lesson. Usually there are 5 problems, 5 to 7 problems, but sometimes I might only assign a few. As I said before, all their homework should be done in their math notebook so that we can refer back to that the next day when we have conversations with our team. If we do have homework, I've been posting that to Schoology updates. And usually that's only going to be Monday through Thursday. I try and not send anything home on Friday just because we have the weekend. Homework is not graded, and I put that in quotes just because I'm using that as a formative tool to see what types of conversations kids are having. We discuss it each day, the day after it was assigned, in our study teams. And, you know, it's just a good way for kids to see that there are many ways to solve problems. The way that they solved it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't solve it a different way. There is a very helpful homework help link right next to each problem in the CPM online text. I will, here at the end of this, I will show you where that can be found. As far as communication, I know I am still kind of getting used to the routine, but I'm trying to get a weekly communication that kind of wraps up the week and gives a preview of next week so that parents and students know what to expect. I try and use Schoology Messenger, but also can be reached by email, phone, or face-to-face by appointment. I'm usually in the building from 7 a.m. until about 3:30 or 4. But as I think I've said before, please do not hesitate to reach out. If your son or daughter is having issues with something that is going on in class, or they are having trouble accessing something, please just let me know and I will definitely contact you and we can take care of that. Some things or some places that you can go for the parent and student support. Obviously, logging into cpm.org, you'll use the district username and password that your student was provided. The homework helper, which is located in a link at the end of every review preview problem. And then the parent support tab, located in the reference tab on the left-hand side of your text. Please click on the next link to be guided to how we can log in, access to the homework helper and the parent support tab. If you already know how, because your student was very studious and showed you this in the first couple weeks of school, that's awesome. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have further questions, please feel free to email me or give me a phone call. Have a great day, and we will possibly see you at conferences. Have a nice day.